Hey, everybody. Thanks so much for listening to the Dumb Dad Podcast. My name is Kevin, and I'm a dumb dad.
And I'm Evan, and I'm a dumb dad. And on today's episode, Kevin, a memory is a memory, right? No matter what day it is.
And Evan's dumb dad moment, he's got some baggage.
Oh!
Cheers.
Cheers. It has been 3 weeks.
Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for listening. Sorry for the sabbatical. It's summer. Summer happens. We should have given you a heads up. We thought we'd be able to do it, but we weren't.
Life. It's
We weren't able to do it.
We were not. We failed you. And for that,
You didn't have anything to listen to during your heat waves.
you had nothing to do. Just sit and wait. You raw dogged 3 heat waves just waiting for us to post, and we appreciate you being patient.
It's wild. And you were out of town traveling.
Speaking of sabbaticals, that my wife is on a sabbatical right now for being with her company for 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
And we decided to front load summer vacation with that because she's always wanted to go to the southern states, Louisiana and Atlanta specifically. We've never been there before. Mm-hmm. And all knowing her sabbatical has been upcoming. We were like, what do we do? What do you want to do, babe? Think of something and we'll take the kids or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And so long and short of it is we jumped on a train from Union Station down in Los Angeles and took it to the end of the line across the country, all the way to New Orleans, stopping along the way. You have to stop in Texas 19 times because Texas is the size of the United States.
It's too big.
It's way too big. But stopping all along the way and mostly just it's a 2-day trip on the train to New Orleans. And you probably stopped we probably stopped 20 times, let's say, in all told. Most of it was between 5 and 10 minute stops, quick little stops. You getting off, you getting on, that kind of thing. Yeah. Then then we would be at a station, full blown station once in a while. And that would be probably an hour and a half, let's say, about. So you could really get off the train and kind of walk around for a while and then come back,
How nervous did those make you with children?
It didn't make me that nervous because I'll say this. The 2 times we had, one time we had about a little under an hour. One time was almost an hour and a half. Those times we set the timer to be back within 20 minutes of the train leaving. Yeah. Just to be super sure because we were also going to walk. We were going to walk. We stopped in El Paso, Texas and walked to where we couldn't see the train anymore. Was what I'm saying.
I don't like it.
The 5 and 10 minute stop things were we got off the train and walked up and down the train.
Yeah.
Because it was
stretch your legs.
Stretch your legs. Make sure the kids don't get restless. That kind of stuff. Yeah. Because we rented a cabin. Which is very tight, but they had the activity room, you go to the dining car to have your meals and stuff. And so it felt like we were moving around enough to where it never felt like we were in one space for way too long. Yeah. So it always helped. And I thought what's it going to hurt to walk around for 5 minutes outside, get a little fresh air, come right back on. I mean, it was sometimes we're sitting reading and relaxing and the kids are drawing or whatever, and we're like, all right, come on, let's go outside. And they're like, why? And it's because, because I need you to. Because of what might happen if you don't.
Yeah, especially if they're on screens.
Yeah.
That's a big old why.
The attendant in our car, her name was Monica, and we were always if we can see Monica outside, we're good. If she's outside, it's okay to be outside. So we wouldn't go too far away from eyesight of Monica, so we knew.
You see the train goes, and you're like, Monica, and she's like, I live here.
Yeah.
And
and then we did 2 days in New Orleans. Mm-hmm. Really fun, beautiful, really old city. Very quickly realized this is an adult city.
I wasn't going to tell you. You had to find that out for yourself.
Got to find it out for yourself. And it's really fun and everything, but it's the city comes alive when it's all right, back to the hotel. It's bedtime.
Yes.
Right? And then the city is filled with people that are surviving the night before or maybe just going home. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But it was fun. It was cool. It's all, my son's it really looks like Disneyland here. We're like, no, Disneyland. And he's like, oh, well, cool. But only 2 days there. So that was totally fun.
They made this whole place based off Princess and the Frog.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Wow. Disney has pull.
Yeah.
But it was cool. Beautiful city. Fun to be there. And then we rented a car and drove to Atlanta, about a 6-hour drive to see. We have 2 sets of friends. friends that we used to do sketch comedy with moved there, and then another set of our LA friends that have been there. And so nice to see them, hang out and see their little towns. Atlanta was awesome.
Yeah, I'm jealous. You got to see their house.
Yeah. And then we, after 5 days, I think, hopped on a plane, flew across the United States diagonally to Seattle area to see my mom and dad, grandma and grandpa, spend a few days there, and then flew back home. So we gone for like just over 2.5 weeks, about 2.5 weeks. So it was an awesome vacation. My wife still has a little bit of time before she goes back. So we're doing we're going camping this weekend, and we're trying to just like fill it with great family vacation time stuff where she's not worrying about work or anything like that. Yeah. So it's been a lot, needless to say, but it's been fun. It's been really fun. My dumb dad moment was at the very I tripped at the finish line on my face. So we'll get to that in a little bit. It was a great time. It was a great family experience. It was especially with the kiddos, getting them to see like taking our time going across the country on a train for a couple days. Yeah, seeing different parts of the country. Just the more perspective I think you can give your children, the better it is. So it was fun. It was really fun.
That's great.
It's good to be back though, because I missed it. Missed you. Yeah,
we missed you. It was fine here. I was shocked. I heard a heat wave was coming. Yeah. And I was like, oh no. We didn't have it
in June
at all, which just means it's going to be bad.
It'll be brutal soon.
We're going to get ours.
We're going to get hit really hard with it.
I posted it in stories, but most people won't see it. But I had to hold the line with the thermostat a couple times. I was like, it's fine. We're just going to leave the windows open. And here's the thing I've been doing. I didn't talk about this.
It's fine until a certain time of day, I think. That's the hardest part. Stretching it to
I'm good about
that. We got to turn it on.
I'm good at that because I don't want to have to work backwards either.
Yeah, you don't have to work against swim upstream for the rest of the day to try to get it back. Yeah.
I've been good about that. But the one thing I will say that I've been doing, it's such a dad thing, such an older dad thing that I'm doing is one is like I'm going to bed at a reasonable hour, which is just good adulting. I haven't for so long.
When were you going to bed that made you think, I got to make a change in my life?
Probably midnight at the...
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's a lot of the times. 11:30.
Yeah, that's a little late, bud.
It's a little late. A couple times it'd be 1.
But if your kid wakes up at 6 or 6:30, then you're like, I didn't sleep for very long because I went to bed at 1 or midnight or whatever.
Yeah. It's just any of those factors, and those happen a lot.
Yeah.
And I've just like... My wife will go to bed, and I mean, I've been married now for 12 years, 13 years, and
you just want to say that you want to say it clean.
13
so she can just cut
years, 16. Which one is she? Well, we were living together. So we've been living together and married. It's like 16, 17 years, right?
Yeah.
So I'm saying all that because I have been living with her 15 plus years, and I've now had to retrain my brain that when she says I'm going to bed, not to go, what stupid thing am I going to watch?
Or what game am I going
to play? For hours? Because I've done that for years. And I'm just like, how about you go to bed, buddy, and read a book like a good boy? But here's where I'm dadding. That's not dadding. I'm just trying to not hate myself.
I can't tell if your inner monologue is that condescending or just a real supportive buddy.
My inner monologue isn't appropriate for a podcast where people listen with their kids around.
Same, girl, same.
Yeah. It's not. Just too much will get cut out, and then it's like, I don't really understand what they're saying.
Yeah, I don't even know if they had a point. Yeah. Which I don't think they did before, but...
So that's just me adulting and trying to make my mornings not like, again, swimming upstream.
Yeah.
So, but the thing that I'm doing that's such a dad thing, and I won't do this when we're deep in summer and all is terrible, but like the second the temperature gets below whatever, like my setting for the house is for the AC, all the windows are open. And then I will stay up a little later, just let the house cool off. Because I don't like to... I like to have the windows.
So what's your new bedtime?
Well, all right. Since you're asking, here we go.
You brought it up, buddy. They're going to want to know the details.
9:30. That's when I'll start. I'll walk the dog, and then I'll probably, but when that's done, close up all the windows. So I'm getting into bed around a little before 10, and then I read for a little bit.
Yeah, 10:30 seems like that's where I've been.
I make
in
myself
that window for a while.
a tea.
I
made a post about it. Man, the engagement on that one was hot. A lot of people were like,
because you're making tea
I love
now?
a tea.
Yeah.
I love having a tea before bed. And I sit have a tea next to my bed. I read a book.
Yeah.
And then I knit a little bit.
No, you don't.
No, I don't. But then I brush my teeth and go to sleep.
I've seen your handwriting. There's no way you could get fingers to knit.
I don't know that that's true.
Get a wobble, a wooble. What are they called?
Or woobles.
Woobles. Get a wooble.
We got
Surprise
one.
me.
We got one for my daughter.
No, you need to get a Lord of the Rings one.
I know.
Make a little Gandalf.
You getting all those ads?
No, I haven't really seen them too much, but I've seen them around.
Oh, no, yeah. My TikTok's like,
you need this.
you need a
why don't
wooble.
you have
And I was like, listen, I do love Lord of the Rings, but like...
Are there Lord of the Rings ones?
Yeah. It's Lord of the Rings woobles. I got a TikTok the other day, which makes me go, man, the algorithm isn't what it used to be. You know what I mean?
It never is.
Nah, sometimes you'd get an ad for something and go, that's... Like either like, that is something I could, but I'm not interested in. Or you're like, that's right up my alley.
Yeah.
Now, like, I've had like 2 of them now where some woman is like, guys, you won't believe what I just got in the mail. And then she like brings in a frame this like Lord of the Rings box that is like height wise, like the size of a end table. And you're just like, oh, damn. And then she's like, this is a makeup kit. And I was like, all right.
Oh. Have you seen I've seen those guys that, like open these like I don't want to get too far off track, but it's like a Marvel box or whatever, and it's like a Batman statue, and it's like 4 feet tall.
Yeah,
it's like, where does that go? I mean, like, I just can't imagine. Like that goes in like a comic book store.
Yeah,
unless you got like I don't know. I mean, some people have like a cave that's like so themed out.
People have their
you know,
caves.
but each one of those things is so expensive, and it's like opening one after the other. It's like you got to have a big house at some point because they're huge.
Yeah, they are huge. They're very, very big.
Like 1/4 scale DeLorean. Like that's bigger than a couch.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be cool. Gotta be really cool.
Those have never interested me.
I know. I think it's like
ever. I love all that stuff, and no shade to anybody who gets them.
I know,
but
really.
I'm just like, and I look at them when I've gone to comic book stores. I'll like, let me see what they got. And those are really detailed and cool.
That's cool. Yeah, I appreciate like the crafts, how real it looks, the action pose and everything. But like, I appreciate a good like. I love the look of like books and then a Lego car.
Sure.
And then like kind of mixing it together is to me, and that size, like bookshelf kind of stuff. I still same. I appreciate. I think they're cool. But it's like, I couldn't put it in my house.
No.
But
it's on the table. Nobody's sending them to us, so it's all working out. Let's get into our dumb dad moments.
Let's do it.
I'll get mine out of the way.
Okay.
Because I know you got a good one, and mine's a good one, but it's a short one. So yeah, we're deep in summer. We've been out of school now for
4 weeks,
3-4 weeks.
Last day was the 10th.
Their last day was the 10th.
So almost a month.
Yeah, by the time this comes out, it'll be close to a month. And we've been doing well. In fact, my kids, and I've been a proud parent of this, my daughter, although she recently lost it, but we'll find it. She has her like prepare for 4th grade book. I don't know if everybody's school does this, but our school, it gives out, and I'm sure it's all of LA
you
public
can get
schools.
Them on. You can find them online.
You can find them online, but like our public schools give them out at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Here's getting ready for your next grade.
Yeah.
And without us asking, our daughter's been a fan of doing it, and then just like taking it and doing a few pages, not every day, but like a lot. And we're just like, oh, this is awesome. Good for you.
Yeah.
That's cool. So you feel like good parents. But we, as of this recording tomorrow, are going to take their last day of school photos, because we didn't do that.
I'm not 100% sure we did that.
So we've done it every year, and we keep saying we're going to do it. And then the worst part was...
That means you have to like put their backpacks on and stuff.
They still have their backpacks.
I know, but I mean like...
Yep. Backpacks. We're going to do it in the morning so the light's right.
Are you going to walk down to the school?
We don't do it at the school. We do it in front of the house.
Oh, gotcha. That is so funny.
And we just haven't done it. It's been that thing like, my wife's been reminding me, like, we got to do it. And I was like, oh, right. And then her and I started sharing a note, which we should have done a long time ago. But like, I have my to-do list. She has her to-do list. We started sharing a note that's like running to-do list. For either of us can handle this kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then she texted me today. I felt good about myself today. I was getting a lot of work done. I was writing, filming, editing, doing other stuff. And I was like, oh man, this is a good day. And then she was like out with the kids and just texting. And she was like, we still haven't taken the end of school photos. And I was like, and I went on the list. And I was like, all capital letter.
After school photo.
And I was like, are we
Priority
doing it?
number
I was like,
one.
are we getting it? Are we doing it when they get home? Or are we doing it first thing in the morning? So the lighting's correct. And she was like, we'll do it first thing in the morning. I was like, fantastic.
God, that is so good.
Which is funny because I no longer believe in. This is true for children. It's not true for adults, which is that thing of like, you're not going to remember. Like, I'm 1,000% going to remember. Like, 30 years from now, if I'm still around, I'll be looking at that and being like,
that was the year that was
like, I'll get the date wrong. I'll be like, that was August 3rd we took that photo.
As long as you don't get their names wrong.
Yeah. Who's this? Are these your grandchildren?
Yeah. This is me.
Yeah. I look good.
That's really good.
Yeah. So no
really,
end of school
good.
photo.
I envy people that are like so good at remembering to do stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like thinking of stuff that's like, we should start this now. And then by the time now I say that we have one thing that we do, and like pretty much ever since the kids were extremely little, at least for them to know what it was. But I think even before then, we would go in there with them when they were super, super little. If there's like a photo booth, we jump in there and take a little quick strip of photos.
Sure.
And we've done that for, the better part of 10 years.
Yeah.
And so we had this album. Now we like slide them in the album. It's like you can just thumb through it. It's like, that's a really cool thing we have. That's like, it doesn't necessarily mark any occasion, but just knowing that, like, once in a while at the zoo, or when we were just, when we were in Atlanta, we went somewhere and like we were standard size photo booth with our friends. Their husband was out of town, but the wife was there and their 2 kids, and like me and my wife and her and all 4 kids like crammed into this photo booth and like got an inch into and took this photo. It was like, all that really matters is like we have that little strip of photo. It was really funny looking, and it was like, this is great. Add to the collection of like another time we were there. You know? It really solidified it. But one of our friends had a birthday a long time ago at Golden Road, and it was like my son was like 2. And he was like 2.5 years, something like that. Yeah. And we were going to go in, and he like pushed us out, and he's like, I want to do it. And we were like, great. Shut the curtain and like scan the card. And we were just like, I wonder what those are going to be like. Yeah. And it was just like 4 pictures of the top of his head. It was like literally a picture of the curtain with this tiny little top of this kid's head. So fun. It's like our favorite one. It's so funny. It was like, oh, I guess I didn't really expect it. I think like he's going to either make faces or he's not going to know what to do.
Look in the wrong place.
Look in the wrong place. Nope. He was just way too small.
Way too small. That's amazing.
Okay, so here's my dumb dad moment.
Hit me.
Little precursor, about like a few days before we left on our trip, my dad turned 70. Happy birthday again, Dad.
Happy birthday.
And so he turned 70. So we were thinking like, man, what do we do? My dad's one of those guys, probably not too dissimilar to many fathers, especially of that generation. A little hard to shop for.
Sure.
Doesn't really usually say what he wants. Doesn't really want much, He's like, I got my grandkids. What do I want?
He also probably just buys what he wants.
No, he doesn't really buy stuff. he's pretty even. He's just a cool dude. He doesn't need a ton of stuff. So usually it's like, think of something special, or especially like 70, or like want to try something. And we thought, you know what? Why don't we initially I was like, why don't we go to a Mariner game? Like they live so far away down where the Mariners play, but it'd be fun to like make a thing of it. Yeah. And like maybe we'll get like behind home plate or whatever. Like the whole time we were there and then on a road trip. And I was like, all right, we can't do that. And I was like, well, there's a couple golf courses up there that I know he's never played, that I know he would not pay the tee time for. Right. Generally, I would never either. But it was like, when I was asking my wife, I was like, what do you think of that? And I was like, now I know you guys aren't going to go, whatever. She's like, you should go do that with your dad. Yeah. Because it was like he turned 70, and then it was Father's Day shortly after. His birthday and Father's Day shortly after. I was like, this will just be like maybe a really awesome experience. We had been there probably 20 years before, because it's Fred Couples is a PGA Tour player, now on the senior tour and everything.
Yeah.
He's from Seattle, and he like helps design this course, and he used to hold tournaments where there was like an invitational where a bunch of PGA Tour players would come play. One time we went to that invitational. I got those tickets for him for his like birthday or Father's Day or something like that, like 20 years ago, and we like walked the grounds of this. It's called Newcastle is what this place is. Like gorgeous views of Seattle and everything. So I was like, we're gonna do that. So the reason I bring all that, it was not only shout out my dad one more time, but it was like, but I brought my clubs with me because I was like, we're gonna go play this course. I'm gonna bring my golf clubs with me. And usually when we travel, I'd bring my golf clubs. It's not that big of a deal. I have a great carrying case, and it's like, it's not that big of a deal. I'll basically be the one to pull them along with all the other suitcases.
Sure.
You just got to get it to the airline. Here you go. You know, it's usually not that cumbersome. But I was really considering whether or not I should or shouldn't. My wife's like, I'm like, for like 3 weeks, we're going to have them? And she's like, yeah, but like, they're going to be on the train, not with us. They're going to be like.
You carted them across the country.
Yeah. Yeah. But again, so it was like, take them to the train. Here you go. Like, you think about it. It's like, it's really just getting them from like one quick place to handing them off to somebody. It's not like they're with me the whole time per se, right? Then we get to New Orleans, and it's like, we go down and get the cart. We order a Lyft or an Uber or whatever that's big enough to have, you know, we need like an extra large anyway with all of our stuff. So it was like, it was never really, she's like, it's not going to be like something. It's just going to be like one more bag.
Right.
And I'm like, okay. Then, and I will say, like, credit to her. And also, this is a little tiny bit her fault as well. Our fault to say that I had them with me.
That's better.
Just that it wasn't like I have to bring them. I was almost thinking like, I don't know. And she's like, why not? And I was like, yeah, you're right. Not that big of a deal.
Sure.
So, so we get to our friend's house, and they're like in his office. Like, it's, again, it's not like some big deal, really, of all things considered. And I know people will definitely say, and a few people was like, for one round of golf, you brought, but like, if you're a player, you want your sticks. That's all I can tell you. I mean, it's like, it's,
Sure.
And so we finally get to, Seattle area, get up to my mom and dad's. I got my sticks. We go play the day. It was a great day. Yeah. And then I played the next day with my buddies who knew we were in town. It was like, dude, let's go play somewhere. We just went and played some little municipal course. It was great. We go to leave to go home on the final day. This is the final day of all of this travel.
Right.
Okay. We don't have to fly out of SeaTac. We're flying out of this place called Payne Field. Beautiful little airport that has one gate. Okay. It's a small airport. Yeah. They rebuilt it a few years ago. It's gorgeous. Yeah. It feels wrong. It feels wrong. It feels like this is like luxury lifestyle stuff. Because there's like a fireplace in there. There's like leather seating, a nice bar. Yeah. Everyone's just relaxing until it's like, oh, our turn. Okay. Like, we've shown up. It's like people say get to the airport 2 hours before. I mean, if you got nothing on you, you could show up 15 minutes before your flight. Yeah. And be like, I'm here to check in. Here you go. Beep. All right. It's like that chill. Yeah. So all that to say, we weren't going to show up 15 minutes before, but our flight was at 7 a.m. Okay. We got dropped off at, I think, 6:10 by my dad.
Okay, better.
Yeah, sorry. 50 minutes early. These numbers are about to be important.
Gotcha.
Give hugs to my dad. And we even jokingly were like, Dad, take a picture of us with all of our stuff. We made it all this way with our stuff. Now we're on the way home. He's like, great. Give hugs. Walk inside. Go up to the kiosk, and it's like, beep. I need to print my bag tags, right? Scan your boarding pass. Beep. It is too late to check any bags. Please see an attendant. And we were like, what? Too late? Yeah. Like, I've never even... Okay. Yeah. I don't know what that means. Let's go talk to the guy. We get up there, and he's like, yeah, missed your window to check bags. You missed it by 5 minutes. You have to check bags 50 minutes before your flight. So you missed it by 5 minutes. And we were like, what? Like, I've never even heard of that before.
Yeah. So all your bags?
All of our bags.
Okay.
Now, he says, I'll tell you what, I can check your suitcases, but are those golf clubs or something? And I was like, yeah. He's like, that's an oversized bag. I can't check that. And we're like, okay. Yeah. How are we supposed to know that? And he's like, because he reiterated a couple times. Yeah. And I'll say this, man, with zero sympathy to us standing there.
I mean, you got to be numb to have these jobs.
You missed it by 5 minutes. And he told me twice, it would take 5 minutes to check that bag. That's what he told me. So we missed the window of like when you're supposed to do it. I understand they have to say something, or they have to decide on a time. Yeah. Right. Right. But he's telling me it would take 5 minutes to do that. It's like, it's okay. It's 6:45. We have 45 minutes before the plane takes off. But you're telling me it would take 5 minutes to do that. And because we missed our 5-minute window, it also cannot happen.
Yeah.
Now I'm getting pretty, I'm not saying anything to him, but I'm getting hot. I'm like,
a little hot under the collar.
Dude, I'm starting to get pissed off.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, now we don't know what to do because he's telling me like, we cannot put this bag on the plane, but we're also all about to get on this plane.
Right.
He's not offering any solution to us at all. He's just like waiting for us to talk amongst ourselves.
Sure.
So I call my dad and I'm like, hey, I'm sorry to do this. Can you stop for a second? Like, they're not letting my clubs on the plane. It's this whole thing. I'm like trying to explain it quickly to him. Yeah. And then like, he's like, okay, I'll turn around. And I'm so mad at this point that I'm like, and I'm really sorry to make you do this, Dad. And honestly, it's our fault. Because I said, how are we supposed to know this? And before I called my dad, he's like, well, the information is listed on our website. It's like, I'm sure it is, dude. Yeah. What a convenient answer. Yeah. How does that help me? Yeah. You know, like, so I on the phone with my dad, you know, definitely loud enough so this dude can hear him. Like, it's honestly on us and it's probably my fault, babe. You know, I do, every time we get on a plane, I read pages and pages of information on every and before I even finish, my wife goes, don't do that right now. You don't need to do that.
That's correct.
I was like, and immediately I was like, that's right. He didn't write the policy.
Yeah.
He's just doing what he's told to do. Yeah. As pissed off as I was, what is that going to do? You know? Yeah. So I stopped that immediately. And then we get back to like, my dad's like, okay, well, let me know. So we hang up the phone and we're like, what can we do? And he's like, well, I can book everyone on another flight. And I was like, so what you're telling me is like, there's literally no way. Yeah. With 45 minutes to go that these are getting on that airplane. No possible way. Yeah. And he's like, no. And I'm like, okay, so now we have to completely change. He's like, then we start to quickly decide. Now here's the thing, like we're up against the clock. We can't like sit around and make a decision. It's like, so the decision is my wife and children get on the airplane with the bags that he also made a point to say, I did you a favor by checking those other ones. And it was like,
did you say thank you? Did you?
No, I was a little mad. Didn't, because I don't think it would have come out as, you know, a
sounds
thankful
like it's a
thank
small
you.
Airport. It's probably not hard to find out his name. You just call the airport.
You said it was
small?
Yeah.
Be easy. Who's working this day at this counter?
So the decision is then, so I call my dad. I was like, how much does it cost to change my flight? Now, here's the thing. Because it's a small airport, there's only one flight per day out of that airport. And it was at the same time the next day. Right. So the decision is, and the dumb dad moment, the culmination of all that is, I call my dad so he could come pick me up with my golf clubs and my backpack and drive back to his house and hang out for another 24 hours. And he's like, why don't you I'll mail them to you. And it was like, how much does it cost to change our ticket? He's like, $50. And I was like, it's going to be way more money to ship these stupid things to me than $50.
Was it a full flight? Could you have just bought your clubs a seat?
They said it was a full flight and I don't know. They didn't present, he didn't present that an option. He presented us no options other than changing our flights because we asked, what are we supposed to do? Change a flight? And he's like, I can do that. It was like, okay.
I can help with that.
But he didn't offer like buy a ticket for them, which of course would have been, but we might have considered that. It was like, what are we supposed to do, dude? Yeah. And like the whole thing is like, I will read it. I get its policy. I get they have to do it. But it's like, I also understand that airports operate differently than each other because I have no grounds to be standing there mad and yelling and blah, blah, blah down at SeaTac when there's 50 people behind me. We were the only ones standing there, period. My family and this guy. And there was the only people in this room before they walked over to security. So there's just no possible way to bend the policy or figure or like do me a favor or charge me. I don't know, like just nothing. You're just standing there like, I don't know what to tell you. It's like, what is happening? And I'm thinking then more and more, then it's like my scenarios are going in my head. Like, what if we just came from a hotel? I was like, but I did tell him, I was like, so the option is for me to fly another day. We're going to break up our family because of a 5-minute window. Just want to be clear about that. And he's like, it's policy. I was like, oh, wow. Wow. Okay. Okay, dude. Cool. Yeah. Copy that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was a dumb dad moment. Was, I guess, not knowing that policy. That's clearly listed on the website. My dad was like, later on in the day, he's like, by the way, I went on Alaska's website, page 4.
It's not in the back.
I was like, it's on there.
It's on there.
It's on the website.
Your dad with spectacles on. Here we go.
Here we go. Here we go.
Anybody with an oversized bed must be checked. Yeah, it's on there. It's on there.
50 minutes before. Yeah. 5-0. So you tell me, man, what do you think about that?
I'll say this. I will say this.
Mm-hmm.
One, hilarious that you, I know there's none of this is you're doing. None of this is like, you didn't plan or do any of this. Mm-hmm. But that you are like, sorry, babe, you got to go take care of the kids. And, oh, no. It's me and the golf clubs? Ah.
I don't know what to do. Like, she stays.
All right. I guess I'll. No, I got it. I'll stay with the golf club.
I was like, I told her, I was like, I'll leave him here for 6 months because we're going to come back probably Christmas time.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll leave him here for 6 months. I'll just go give him to my dad. She's like, you're going to leave your golf clubs here for 6 months. You're not going to play golf with your golf clubs. You're going to want to play with your golf clubs. And I'm like, what are we supposed to, like, that was part of it.
Yeah.
She was like, what do you want to do? And I was like, I told her, I was like, I cannot make a decision. I don't know what to decide.
Yeah.
I don't want you to have to deal with the kids.
Yeah.
And I stay. She goes, it's fine. I don't care about that.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't need you to be mad. She's like, I'm not mad. It's whatever. We didn't know.
You're like, stop yelling. And she's like, I'm fine. You're yelling.
But I mean, all that's to say, so credit to her. She was like, it is what it is. Like, if the option is for you to stay, go stay with your mom and dad.
Yeah.
We'll pick you up. I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
I mean, no, she didn't have to get back to work.
Yeah, she's
convenient and nicely. So it was like,
no, it worked out.
It just seemed so ridiculous that was the option. But like, that was kind of the option, you know? Like,
I will say this one thing on a serious note. Sorry, guys. You can skip ahead 30 seconds if you want. We'll get back to being silly. We have seen people, those same people, turn away people who are like, they just shut the door and they're going to see their like dying family member.
We saw that on tour.
I know.
They had shut the door for 5 minutes and she's like, my mom is in the hospital. Yeah. They were like, we shut the door.
Yeah.
That's like FAA regulations though.
I know.
That's a little different.
My point is, I think when you have to do that to someone, golf clubs are light work.
Probably. But I mean,
I know what you mean. I don't disagree, but I think it all gets muddy with that stuff because it also might be part of the FAA regulations.
Yeah.
But I do think people need to learn and get better at bullshitting people. I was very good at it when I was waiting tables.
Dude.
And it's
customer service.
You can't see the computer. Your bag. Oh, listen, you guys just missed a window by 5 minutes. 5 minutes? That's crazy. Yeah, that is crazy. Hold on. Let me see. You know what? Maybe
fake a phone call.
And then you just check in like, do I still have a MySpace account?
Yeah.
And like you're just doing that, and you're like, oh, I do still have a MySpace account, but I don't. I forgot password. What email is that gonna? Yeah, sorry guys, I tried, but approach it better.
Or like 100%.
He probably can't. Bend it. I feel like airplane stuff's probably
make
a
it
little
look like you
more
tried or call somebody, whatever. It's like,
that's
come
what I'm
on,
saying.
man, really?
Check to see if you have a MySpace.
Yeah.
Just
that's what customer service. Check to see if you have MySpace.
And you're just like, oh my god, my MySpace was that I think Robert Goulet sketch with Will Ferrell. So I don't even know how to find my page. And then after you're doing that for a while, like, and they're just pacing, and then you kind of wait for them to go.
He's looking. I don't know.
Anything, and you just go, sorry, it's just I'm trying.
I know.
Believe me, I'm trying.
The first way I thought didn't work.
All right,
you're talking about your password.
Sent to Kevin LeFerrier at Yahoo. I don't even remember.
I thought I had Hotmail. Ah.
Okay, hold on. Let me try to log into.
Yeah, dude. This thing is like.
It's not gonna happen, guys.
It's not gonna happen. Okay, so, are you ready for the kicker?
Sure.
Not mad.
You forgot the
very supportive. No. Not mad. Very supportive. My wife's like, I'll see you tomorrow. It's really not a big deal.
Great.
Our kids are great travelers. We'll just handle it.
Sure.
She was like, the bags are going to be tough, but we'll figure it out. It's not a big deal. I was like, okay, well, I can't believe this is happening, but I guess I'll see you tomorrow. They get on a plane. They get on the plane.
Could they have unchecked a couple bags for you?
By the way, she said there were bags that they were checking at the gate.
Oversized.
Which, why weren't there?
Yeah.
Checking them right at the gate.
Do you wonder if you screwed up by saying...
the sarcastic comment?
Like, was he a young man?
No, 30, in his 30s.
But he might not have kids. Because you could have been like, this is a stroller. It's actually my grandfather's stroller.
It's actually my grandfather.
Been using in a stroller.
Yeah.
But instead it was golf clubs. And he was like, golfers.
It says like one last Club gloves. It's like literally the name of the thing.
Bulldozed my.
He's seen it before.
Bulldozed my family home to make that Newcastle course.
So, I don't know. I mean, maybe, but I will say, like, I was heavy sarcasm 3/4 of the way through a sentence. I was like, "Don't do that," and I was like, "Yeah, you're right."
So what was the kicker?
It wasn't like, "Bro, you ass." I didn't do any of that stuff. You know,
Sure.
I know that doesn't help.
Sure.
But I kind of made the comment when I was pretty sure, like, he was not taking these gloves.
Yeah.
You know.
He just like
the kicker is
check the footage, and he's actually like holding up a tag, and you're like, "Oh, but I like this guy. You know me. I always check that." And he's like, "Never mind."
And he put his gum in it and threw it away. So my wife, they get on the plane, no problem. They're on their way home.
Mm-hmm.
I get back to my mom and dad's. My wife is able to text me from the plane, so we're talking a little bit. I did actually send her a message that said, "I'm sorry I went immediately to that place because you're right, it didn't help, and I didn't hope I didn't embarrass you or whatever." I was like, just instantly pissed off because it was like this guy was clearly not interested in helping us, which is what was pissing me off so much. She's like, "Don't worry about it." They make it 2/3 of the way home, 2/3 of the way through their flight on the way home. Somebody comes over the intercom. Is there anybody, a doctor or a nurse or on the plane? We're having a medical emergency. There was a lady behind them, 3 rows right behind my family, elderly woman. Her family was with her, which is how they got this following information out to the people that were there. Sure. Immediately, a doctor and a nurse came to the person's aid. She was in like 60s, 70s, I think. Completely flat out OD'd on her pain meds after just having knee surgery. Oof. They used Narcan on this woman. Oof. And then they rerouted that flight to Sacramento. My wife and kids got off that flight for like an hour and a half in the Sacramento airport while they resupplied the plane, refueled the plane. They all got back on the plane and then finally flew home.
So she was okay?
She was okay. They got her out of it. My wife was like, "I'm pretty sure she was unalive for like a couple minutes there."
Yeah.
But she said they got her out of it. They got her off the plane first. You know, they said they're going to come get her. She felt terrible. She was like profusely apologizing to everybody on the wheelchair out of the plane, everything. So everything was fine. But it was like, she also had to deal with that and not making it home in the 2.5 hour window, but more like 6 hours later.
Did she overhear any of the flight attendants say like, "Man, that really worked out. If this plane was like 230 pounds heavier, we would have been much slower and we never would have made it"? Yeah. Things sometimes work out.
No, they said, "Too bad we didn't take off 5 minutes later. We might have known this and never would have had this problem. If only something could have taken 5 minutes extra, this lady might not have had to get on the plane and go through this." That's what they said.
That doesn't make sense. Well, you're 5 minutes later to Sacramento. That doesn't work out.
I don't know, man.
Well, I hope that lady speedy recovery.
Yeah, as well. Yep, said she would be fine. She said she seemed like totally fine on the way out. So it worked, but they were like, "You got to get her to the hospital to like reassess everything," and like probably. Whew. Yeah, scary, but.
Well, welcome home.
Thank you. A day late. $50 short.
It is $50 short. But whoops. You bogeyed that one. All right, that's where we're going to end it, guys. You guys email us, dumbdadpod@gmail.com, if you have a dumb parent story or a travel story, especially, that you want to share with us, or end of school story. You can follow us at The Dumb Dads on all social media. You also DM us your dumb parent stories or mail us. The link's in the show notes. Check all that stuff out. Thanks to Verdú on SoundCloud for the music, and to my incredible wife, Annie, for editing this podcast. Welcome back.
Thanks.
You got a joke for us?
I got a joke for you. My brother told me this joke while I was gone. I just remembered it. Okay, so this guy he's going to commit his life to becoming a monk. Mm-hmm. So he goes and sees the monks. So he's like, "I want to be a monk." They're like, "Okay, here's what you have to do. After 10 years, we'll reassess. Can't say anything for 10 years. And if you make it 10 years, you can say 2 things, 2 words." He's like, nods his head, right? Mm-hmm. So he goes 10 years, does a very good job being a monk. Mm-hmm. They say, "Hey, we want to let you know you're doing a great job. Good prospect. You're looking to me, you could be a good monk. As you know, you're allowed to say 2 words. What are the 2 words you'd like to say?" He thinks about it for a second. He goes, "Food, bad." And they go, "Okay." They write it down, okay. Now, again, another 10 years, we'll reassess. So far, you're doing a good job. You got to make another 10 years, and then you can say something else.
Okay.
Nods his head. Okay. So he makes it another 10 years. And they're like, "Time to reassess." And they go, "Listen, you're doing a great job. You're one of the better monk trainees we've even got. You're doing a great job. Would you like to continue in the monk training? And he nods his head. They go, okay, good, great. We'd love to hear that. What are the 2 words you'd like to say this time? And he thinks about it for a second. He goes, bed, hard. And they go, okay. And they write it down. And so then they go, okay, so another 10 years, and then we'll talk for a final time about whether or not you're going to be a monk. So he nods his head. So he goes the final 10 years, makes it the whole time. Best monk they have, like best one. They're like, after 30 years, they're like,
yeah,
you're the best one we got.
Great.
Would you like to continue and become a monk? He thinks about it for a second. He shakes his head, no. Mm-hmm. And he goes, honestly, I just don't think it's for me. I can't do it. I'm sorry. And they go, that's totally fine. That's totally fine. You did a great job. But, we were going over your file, and honestly, all you've done since you got here is complain. So it's better play for the best.
Great. It's pretty good.
It's not bad.
It's not bad. That's a good one. And we'll leave it there. Okay.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Welcome to the world, little one. Welcome to life.
How do I stop this?